Hello, I'm Vladimir Kramnik, former world chess champion, and today I would like to record something on cheating, the online cheating, the issue I'm working on for already a few months. I've started my blog on chess.com, so you can read some materials, some researches I've done before, but today I would like to present you at the end of this video to present you a new research, a very serious one, very interesting results, and also to answer some questions. I mean, on this topic, the most crucial questions actually, why, how, and what I would say to do about online cheating. So first question, first important point is, why do people cheat online? Well, there are several, I suppose, there are several reasons for that. One, actually, it's a very important one, a very serious one, is ego. It's people like to win. They play chess on all levels. They like to win, and I suppose, I mean, those are just my ideas about it, but they're based on facts. The facts are that many people are, as we know it by statistics presented by chess.com, are banned, so they're cheating in friendly games online without any stimulation like money. So that means that for some reason, I mean, for me it's difficult to understand. I don't see a point to do it. I mean, you just feel bad that you are a cheater. At least that's what I would feel if I would have done it. And there is no point, because it's not you who won the game. Yeah, you know it very well, that it's a computer, has nothing to do with you. But I guess in general, looking around, we see that people in general, they have a very good ability, many people, let's say, have a very good ability to cheat themselves. So I guess they feel like, okay, it's them who won those games, and that makes them feel better. I suppose so. I mean, that's just my guess, because of course it's totally irrational to cheat online if it's not about prizes or money. But that is what is happening massively. We know it on all levels, but especially on the lower levels, where actually it makes even less sense. Because nobody knows who is playing. So you won a game, you cheated, you beat some guy you don't know also, and nobody would actually ever have a look at this game or even notice your results. So I don't know what's the point, but that is, I mean, happening. So in general, this question, I see it quite often. People saying, okay, why would he or she cheat? There is no sense. Yes, but it's happening. So it's we humans are actually quite irrational from time to time. Many things we do are not rational, but we still do it. So that question is not relevant. I don't think it has to be a reason to think that somebody is or cheating or do not cheat. I mean, because this kind of rational question, why would he? I agree with you. It's stupid, it's childish, and it's bad to do it, but it's happening. So that is one reason, but I'm more actually trying to investigate the, I mean, serious level, I would say, title players. And there, okay, on top of this, let's say, irrationality, ego, there is also money involved very often. Like we know in Title Tuesdays or in rapid events, Grand Tour, there is quite a lot of money. And then, okay, it's another actually very strong reason to cheat. yeah, just to earn money. By the way, I would like to just for the information to let you know. I mean, I've checked in open source, so I'm not revealing any secret. The amounts some of the players are earning in online chess. I think mainly it's playing on chess.com, but also, I guess, well, if you are talking about a year ago, it's chess24, maybe other platforms. So all in all, I mean, I don't like to dig into someone else's pockets. First of all, it's not the idea. And also, I would like to say that I actually like when chess players earning good money. So, I mean, I'm positive about it if it's done honestly. But so I will tell you some numbers just that you understand the scale of the money, of the prize money people are earning online, and that this is really serious money, at least for those players. And I guess that actually majority probably of chess players now they earn more money online than offline, than in regular events. So it is a serious amount, because quite often I've heard that, well, but it's just small money, you know, why would this player or that player just try to, you know, to use computer assistance for this kind of peanuts? Yeah, no, it's not peanuts. So I would like, okay, I will mention Hikaru Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen prizes, but of course, yeah, for them it's probably not absolutely huge money, even though probably they still also earn online more than offline. If you are talking about chess, pure chess earnings, yeah, not contracts or advertisement, but purely by playing chess. So those amounts are open source, so you can check it. I've made the calculation on the last 2 years, so 2022 and the 11 months of 2023. So let's go. Magnus Carlsen has earned $471,500. Not bad. Hikaru Nakamura, $373,500. But okay, of course, those are exceptions. But even, I mean, for some players like below 2,700, not being in the top of chess, actually they earn very, very serious money. So, for instance, I will just tell you a few numbers, few names. Andreikin, of course, he's a very strong player, he's 27 plus and so on, but still, I mean, I'm not sure it's so easy for him in 2 years to make offline what he made online, which is 112, almost close to $112,000, a very serious amount. Then let's mention now Sarana, also a good player, very strong player, around 2,700. In 2 years, $87,000. Let's go further. A young talented player, Lazavik, from Belarus. He made less, kind of a bit less, but still pretty significant amount of money, which is almost $44,000. Then maybe I can mention, let's mention, I don't know, Daniil Dubov, of course, a very strong player as well. In 2 years, since 2022, $69,500. So I can continue this list. Let's say Alcantara, Jospin in chess.com. So his performance, financial performance is, 1 second, let me find it. Is also pretty impressive. Almost $76,000. So that is the idea is to show you that those are very, very serious money people earn nowadays in online chess, and that is why especially, of course, there is a temptation. Again, of course, don't try to don't misunderstand or try to misrepresent my words. Definitely, it doesn't mean that those players I've mentioned cheating. No, it doesn't mean. The idea is to show you that it's very significant amount of money, and I can tell you that. By the way, I've checked myself. Of course, I don't remember how much I've earned, but altogether. But yeah, in 2 years, it was about $25,000 approximately. And I've just made this mental experiment. Decided to calculate approximately, of course, very approximately, how much would I've earned if in the last round of each event I would use a computer assistance. I would say at least 3-5 times during a game. So just 3 glances a day when I play a tournament. Only one game, the last game. And it's pretty clear to me that my income would at least double, at least. So probably I would earn minimum 50,000 already. So which makes it clear that I mean, it is a serious issue, very serious issue. And if we compare with other sports, there is such a heavy doping control. So all those people who say, okay, this is ridiculous, it's paranoid, I mean, it's very strange to me. Then actually it's all sports is paranoid. Yeah, it's a logical conclusion, because doping control is extremely heavy. I mean, police comes, the anti-doping comes 5 in the morning, knocks at the door of famous sportsmen and taking doping probe and so on and so on. I myself in chess, of course, we also have offline chess doping control, or at least we used to have when I played. And the procedure, sorry for details, but it's really serious. They don't let you escape for a second, and you have to sit in the room. And even, sorry for details, when you go to toilet, somebody comes with you to make sure that you will not change the probe, that he sees you every second. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So then yeah, it's totally paranoid. Yeah. So guys who are telling that that this is ridiculous what I'm trying to do, or my researchers, or in general to care so much about cheating online, but then it means the whole sport is totally paranoid. Yeah, actually, by the way, all those procedures are also made with very, very famous players like Federer or football, Ronaldo. Okay, they have to go through the same procedure. So I don't see why we conclude that in chess everybody is angel. Yeah, we are all angels, and when it's about a very serious amount of money, people would not cheat. No, but we are chess players. We are very special people. Yeah, we are morally 2 feet above every other sportsman. So a priori there is, okay, it's ridiculous to think that somebody is going to cheat. I mean, I'm just trying to explain how absurd is this idea. But we will talk about it a little bit later. Of course, another important point is that, as we know from our juridical systems, of course, the main reason why it works, okay, good, bad, but it works for I don't know how long period of time already in our civilization, that there is a punishment. If you committed a crime, whatever crime is it, the punishment is inevitable. I mean, okay, if it's proved. That is what strikes me actually most, that there is no punishment in chess.com. Basically, the system is that if you are cheating, even in a prize events, even as a title player, well, all you have to do is privately, I mean not publicly, just say sorry. That's all what is asked, and you are they let you continue playing, maybe opening a new account, so-called second chance. There is, as far as I know, I've never yet received an answer on this question. Does Chess.com ask those people who admitted they were cheating, including prize events, and during those periods when they were playing, are they giving money back? Because this is a very important question. I mean, first of all, I believe those players whom they beat in prize events must be compensated. So those money should go to players who lost, especially in last round, you know, shared equally, and then all those players, and it's a way to compensate them. I think it's very fair and logical. And secondly, well, that's actually will show that the person who caught and who admitted he was cheating, that he is really sorry, that he is not planning to do it. I mean, because otherwise, is it difficult to say I'm sorry, especially when you know that nobody will actually know that. So what is happening? Imagine the situation in juridical sphere that somebody is caught stealing $10,000 on the street, I don't know, whatever, and then he's in the police station. The police says, okay, we are pretty sure you have stolen those money, but okay, if you confirm it, yeah, then you can go out. I mean, keep the money, no problem, just keep it with you, but just promise you will not do it again. Okay, no, do it again. But otherwise, no problem. We will not tell anyone. No problem. Go back home, and next time, if we catch you next time with another already $50,000, maybe then we will actually start to prosecute you. And of course, the guy says, "Oh, no way, no, I'm not going to do it again." Okay, keeps his money in the pocket and leaves. I mean, this is a complete absurd. Yeah, how can the juridical system work like that? And it's pretty obvious, if that would be the case, that the percentage of crime would increase like double, triple immediately next day. It's very obvious, yeah, to us. For some reason in chess, it is not obvious to many, but okay, it's the same story. If there is no punishment, the crime will rise, yeah. It's pretty clear. There is a lot of money, quite a lot of money. There is, I mean, also the difference, quite an important difference compared to other sports, that if in athletics or other sports, actually taking doping is only increases your chances, but in fact, if you're much weaker than your concurrent, it still will probably not help you, and there is a very serious punishment. And still, there are a lot of people who are taking doping. We can see it. I've just checked, for instance, recently Wikipedia page, and to see how many sportsmen were caught with doping, like I think last few Olympiads, and the list was, I think, 20 plus pages. So I don't know how many, I didn't even count how many people were caught. So with all this, and actually some sports are, yeah, financially are not very well paid. So, I mean, less than those amounts of money I've mentioned, prize money some chess players are receiving. So then, I mean, I find it completely irrational, because when those people talking that, you know, that it's paranoid to think that there are many people who cheat, and that, you know, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, my clear stand is that it is crazy to think that it would not happen under those circumstances which I've mentioned earlier. I mean, to me, logics, our common sense life experience and logic tells that it must be at least on the same level as in other sports, or maybe even, I guess, it should be logically even higher, because it guarantees you the positive result. There is no way to prove 100% you are cheating, and there is no punishment. And there is also, yeah, a lot of money. So to think that it's not happening, or it's a very minor issue, I don't know, 1% only of people who are doing it, I think it is just logical absurd, common sense, yeah, just common sense tells it that it must be absurd to think like that. But for some reason, you know, there is there is a certain idea among quite many people that it's other way around. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, we can debate how many people are cheating. I'm trying to base my point of view always on statistics, on numbers. And again, today I will present you a very, very serious research, which to me shows very clearly that the percentage is quite high, even among strong players, title players, but in any case, well, common sense is on my side, I believe. So that is what I wanted to talk about, the reasons of cheating, why people do it, and I believe even title players, they do it pretty often. And now we come to the next point, which is what to do about it. Yeah, what are the measures which can be implemented to at least to reduce it significantly. So what to do? What are the measures which must, I believe, be taken to reduce significantly the cheating? Well, first, as I've mentioned already, is obviously the punishment. It must be harsher, definitely. So I believe, like in other sports, those people who cheated and admitted the cheating, and otherwise, if they don't admit, well, they just don't get the second chance. Those names must be public, because that is a kind of punishment, definitely, yeah, image-wise. So that goes without saying, I believe, even. And when you know, some they make these parallels and explain that trying to make parallels with other disciplines, sports. Well, we all know that all those names are published, and everybody knows who took doping and when and so on. So that is pretty obvious. And definitely, second is they must give all the money they've earned. If they've earned some money during this period, they must give it back. That's the condition for them to receive a second chance. I mean, otherwise they don't receive a second chance, because you must prove by doing something that you really apologize, and that you most probably are not going to do the same, because, yeah, as I've mentioned already, just to say sorry, I can tell you now 3 times if you want, sorry. So what? I don't think it's very convincing. If if you want me to say sorry, I mean, like anyone else, yeah, can just tell it, yeah. So that is, to me, it's just ridiculous, yeah, obvious, completely obvious things. For instance, also in other sports, well, they have to give back their cups. Okay, that the results are annulled. Yeah, so they're not anymore Olympic champions or whatever. Yeah, the cups back, I guess the money also back, and if there is some money, and so on and so on. So that is pretty obvious, yeah. Then next, also which is very strange to me, that I believe that everyone who wants to compete in prize events must reveal his name, must compete under his or her name. I mean, again, that is very obvious. First of all, it is just, because otherwise I've experienced many times when I was still playing Title Tuesdays that I'm playing against a player who is hiding himself under nickname, but also even in the profile there is no name. So you absolutely don't know whom you are playing against, and your opponent knows very well. I mean, I don't find it correct to hide my name, yeah, when I play especially money events. So that is absolutely obvious. I don't see a slightest reason, any reason actually why it's not done. And also it, of course, it gives you certain ideas about the real fight against cheating, yeah, on the platform or other platforms, I guess, as well. That okay, if you really want to fight, you must oblige people to open up their names, at least when they're playing for money. Again, very obvious, very just, very simple, but not done yet. Also completely obvious to me issue that about the headphones, something I've already talking about. I mean, while people streaming, because at least then you can see them, and of course headphones must be strictly forbidden, because again, I don't mean that people who are streaming with headphones that they're cheaters, of course not. I don't mean anyone in particular, but well, it's very strictly forbidden in offline events. And the point is that once you have headphones on you, all other anti-cheating measures already do not make any sense. So it's like you admit that this person or those people who are using headphones during a game, well, you cannot stop them cheating if they want, if they decide so. Because, well, it's very easy to understand that, well, you can just be on the phone, on the call with somebody who is sitting, you know, in the other room, and just telling you the moves, the lines of the engine. I mean, hypothetically, yeah, I'm just explaining how it can work. Your phone is just in a drawer nearby you and nobody sees it, so you just receive all kind of whatever possible help, computer variations. At any moment you agree with your with the person who is helping you, and that's it, yeah, and nobody can ever detect it, can check it, yeah, so that is very obvious, yeah. So by the way, I've pointed that out a few months ago, and in my previous video on Levitov Chess YouTube in Russian language, but with English subtitles. You can check it. It was done in June, I believe. June this year, and then I received an answer. I've sent it to Chess.com, and I received an answer that yes, you are correct, this goes against our policy, and yeah, we are going to do something about it. It's not going to be happening soon. Well, as far as I see, it's still happening. Nothing is done about it, and again, there is absolutely no technological need to use headphones during your stream. I mean, most of people, they pretend or in reality listening to music, but I'm sorry, yeah, it's not like maybe I believe it is possible to have this huge difficult discomfort of not listening to music while you are playing chess for an hour or two. What do you think? I mean, to me, it's huge, of course, but important sacrifice to do if you want to, I mean, really to fight with cheating. I would never have done it, just because, at least because of the reason that people might think that I'm receiving some help, using those headphones, and just out of respect towards my opponent, because I don't want him to be like suspicious or confused. Yeah, and again, yeah, I don't understand why it is still on, and again, it raises very serious questions about the because one thing what platform is telling that how seriously they are fighting against cheating, but well, the most simple basic measures are still not done, so not quite sure. At least there is no big correlation between words and deeds, yeah, and what they do actually. So yeah, strange question. I absolutely believe that it must be done. It must have been done long ago, but well, I'm still waiting for this thing to happen. Probably, I suppose it will take a long time. I can wait for years. Another important question to ask, because for some reason, it doesn't make sense to me, frankly, I believe, but for some reason, quite a number of people believe that if somebody is streaming, okay, yeah, that proves that he is not cheating. I mean, what is the correlation between streaming and cheating? I mean, why, especially if you have headphones, but not necessarily, there are many other ways also, why if you stream, it like means that you are clean? Again, I'm not mentioning any concrete people, but it just doesn't make sense. It's not not a slightest difference. I mean, it doesn't make it any more difficult to cheat while you are streaming. I mean, or let's say if you are not streaming. That's why it's totally relevant point, which for some reason for quite a number of people it's like almost a proof that the person, if he streams, he's not cheating. Absurd. I'm sorry, but it's absurd. And secondly, it's also not that difficult, even though it makes it much more difficult. I mean, it's a bit, technologically more difficult, as I understand, to cheat with cameras on, yeah, but still not that difficult. I mean, because of I believe it must be changed as well, that a very important point is that, I've played these rapid events, and actually how it goes, that you are on Zoom call, you have two cameras. One camera is actually on you, and a very small, let's say, space around you, and another camera is on your computer screen. But the rest of the room is not monitored. I mean, so theoretically, and when you start a game, of course, they cannot bother you. So nothing can be changed already. The way your camera is set is already till the end of the game is fixed. So what's the problem that somebody enters the room, I don't know, with the computer, just stands or sits somewhere outside of the look of the camera and just shows you the moves? For example, as an example, I mean, it's a bit less comfortable, but still very easy to do. So at least to make it, I mean, what we are trying to do, it's true, there is no way you can be sure that there is no cheating in online chess if a person who decides to do it, he's kind of professional, yeah, he finds professional ways, but we must at least make it as difficult as possible, which already will reduce a number definitely of such, sorry to say, criminals when we are talking about money. So the camera, there must be one camera which is overlooking the whole room where a person is sitting during the whole period of a competition, of a game. Yeah, but that is also pretty obvious, not difficult to arrange, but again, for some reason, it's not done. So those are the the basic issues about, I would say, technical things about how to make it more difficult, at least to cheat. Easy, everything can be implemented if there is a will tomorrow. I mean, not too difficult to make. It's for some reason it's not, none of those points are done by chess.com, and now the next part will be, and the last part, then I will come to my new research, to statistical research. So it's going to be about the anti-cheating method. So let's say when the games were already played, how to try to detect better, because my strong belief. I mean, my opinion is that it doesn't really work. It works very badly. The anti-cheating system. I will explain you why now, and so how to detect when you are checking games, performances of players, what to do to improve the percentage of cheaters which are detected, hopefully after banned, you know, from playing at least prize money events. So now let's talk about anti-cheating system and how to detect players checking their games that whether using computer help or not. First of all, very important issue is that I strongly believe that there must be two very different anti-cheating systems depending on a group, so to say, of players. So one group is amateurs, or I would say players up to 2200 level, and professionals, title players, so I would say 2200 to, you know, to 3000 FIDE rating. So the point is that the nature of cheating, the methods of using computer help are totally different, yeah, in those two groups. So if you try to use one system to detect it, most probably in most of the cases, yeah, you will just fail. So I would like really to understand. As far as I know, platforms and chess.com are using the same kind of methodology, same system, and I think it's a very big problem, because, well, let's say if player below 2000 chess.com rating is trying to cheat, well, in order to win a game, he needs to make quite a lot of computer moves, first of all. Secondly, he doesn't really understand actually, yeah, when to think, when you can afford playing a fifth line and when you really need to play the first line. So that's why pretty often well, they just try to play the best or second best moves all the time, and of course then considering the level, the rating, okay, it becomes pretty obvious. So of course there are a lot of nuances on top of that, but still that is the main concept of detecting such players, and that probably works pretty well, even though of course yeah, still definitely not all of them are detected. But it's much more difficult to detect title players, so let's say professional players, because at least using the same method it's practically impossible, because, you know, none of those are, you know, I mean, they have no understanding of how it works, yeah, I mean, how they can be detected, yeah? And it's not too difficult for as a player with, let's say, 2500 rating to avoid this. So you just don't have to play always the first line. They have already good understanding of chess, in the sense that when you can play fifth line or not a computer move, even sometimes you can make a blunder on purpose, but still win the game. So that, and of course you don't need to, yeah, you don't need to look at the computer every time. Yeah, I mean 5-6 times during a game is enough already to most of the time to win this game. Yeah, so that's why I believe that must be different systems. So what I'm mainly working on the professional level, so to say, and have a lot of ideas how to try to detect cheating in higher level, and especially in money events. I believe that statistical method is working very well. I will not go into details. First of all, that those people wouldn't know exactly how it can work, and there are many parameters, very sensible, and you can invent and check those players for very different parameters, which what I'm doing. So what I tell you, what I publish on my blog is just a very small part of researches, I mean of tests I do. And why I'm publishing only those? Because those tests are provable. I mean, you can check all those numbers, you can check by your own. That's why including the test which I'm going to present you today, it's possible to check to everyone. It's open source information, and there is a clear logic behind the test. I'm not trying to you know, to invent something or to make a certain selection. No, I'm just telling clearly, okay, this is those are the conditions of the test. This is the logic behind it, and well, those are the parameters. So before making a test, I have no idea what will be the results, and sometimes there are no, well, significant results, so you cannot really make any clear conclusion out of it. But those which gives very, I would say, telling numbers, telling results, I present to yourself, to all of you, and today will be one of those. So the point is also that you know, in data science, or well, in working with information, especially using artificial intelligence, there is a sentence which you know, it's slang. In their slang, they are using quite often, those people who are working with data, which is rubbish in, rubbish out. So if which means that if you put the wrong parameters, not correct parameters in the analysis, yeah, into the machine, it will give you in any case not correct answer. Even if it works perfectly with it, it's very powerful, but the answer will not be correct. So that's why if you want to detect the cheating, and that is, I believe, the most important is cheating in prize events. So because it's already about money, and sometimes very serious money. If you, as you learned previously in this video, so you need to actually to have a certain idea first how it can be done, and then to check rather selectively. Of course, you need a very serious sample of games, preferably, but the point is that the most kind of, okay, this way, the most standard ways do not work. Like, okay, you are checking last 2 years of different players. Of course, because on this level, there is no point to cheat in every game. I believe not even in half of the games, but only maybe 1/5 or even less. That is already enough for a strong enough player to earn, well, serious money. And I mean, hypothetically, I'm talking about hypothetically, yeah. And then, so therefore, when when you just go through the 1 or 2 years and make the statistics, of course, since most of the games those players are not using computer help. Of course, all in all, in average, they would have the statistics which will be more or less reasonable. So behind stronger top players, and everything seems to be okay. I mean, maybe that is the idea, to have these conclusions at the end of the test. Then, of course, yeah, keep on doing it. But if you really want to detect, to have a correct conclusion, then you have to try to understand how and when would they cheat. So I'm going to present you now this test. So first, the idea behind it. It's a bit complicated. It requires maybe a little bit of concentration of yours, but there is a very clear logic in it. By the way, one small story that just about 2 weeks ago, a person, because I'm receiving quite often some propositions of help from mathematicians, from different people who are into this matter, And there is a mathematician with a PhD, and he's a chess amateur. He likes to play. He likes chess. He likes to play on chess.com as well, and he's kind of aware of this issue. And he told me, by the way, he presented me 3-4 different ideas how you can detect it. And one of the ideas that it's very interesting. It was very interesting. Was number 1 in his list. And it was exactly one-to-one what I'm going to present you today. And yeah, I said, okay, thank you. It makes a lot of sense. But actually, the first one is I'm already finishing my research on it. So that also proves that it's not let's say, stupid. Yeah, this idea. But yeah, if you will just listen to my explanation to this logical chain, you can build this logical chain and understand that actually it makes a lot of sense to test it exactly in this manner. So considering the above said, so let's try to think which games are the most likely for, let's say, potentially for a potential cheater to use computer help. Let's talk about, let's say, Title Tuesday. I was checking Title Tuesday or any other money event. Well, obviously, since there is, well, it's too dangerous to use it all the time during every game. Of course, that's a bit too much. So probably what I would do in this situation is, okay, I would probably use it like 3-4 maximum in 3-4 games. As I mentioned already, even in one game would be very effective, but 3-4 would guarantee in a long run a very nice result, even for a player who is not really a top grandmaster. So then which games would be those? I mean, yeah, logic says, well, last rounds, probably the last round. Yeah, that is, I mean, if a player is fighting for prize, okay, that's usually you play a very strong opponent. Well, that's exactly the moment where you will probably use it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to use it before. Let's say, I mean, it doesn't exclude the fact that a player can use it in some other game earlier, but then for sure he would use it in the last round. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. But that is nothing so complicated, and actually this was already understood and I think used by chess.com as well, checking the last round. But there was in those researches there was one very serious mistake, I believe, always done, is that not every game, not all games of the last round should be in this research. So you have to separate the games when a player is fighting for prizes and when he lost his chances to fight for prizes. I mean, that is a very big difference. So in the second case, there is absolutely zero sense to use a computer. So that is why those games are, well, practically for sure, people are not using engine help, because what for? So then those games you have to put aside and then leave only those games when there is still a theoretical chance, at least a theoretical chance to get some prize money. And then things becoming very interesting actually. So that was my idea. I made, and then you need to compare it with something. With what you compare it? You compare it with performances. So here this test is about performances, and I was comparing it with performances of the same player in previous rounds. From in previous 4 rounds, rounds 7, 8, 9, 10. Why 4 rounds? Because, well, if you compare with round 2 or 3, the average rating of the opponents is so much lower that in fact it's becoming, first of all, very difficult to perform as well as in the last rounds, just because you have to win like practically every game to have a high performance. And secondly, because the test will become less precise. Of course, there is a big difference playing, I don't know, 2300 player, let's say, and 2700, yeah, FIDE rating. So that's why I took just 4 rounds, and I think that's a good enough sample, because let's say in average, I checked 18, I think, players, or 19 even. In average, the average rating was pretty equal in all those rounds. I mean, not a very big gap, and I would say that 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, in average like 40 games per round, so you can count it's like 160 games, 150, because sometimes people stop playing tournament if it doesn't go well. So all in all, it's a big sample, yeah. Very important, it's played not in the same day. So it's throughout the year, played like each few games in different days. So that makes it much more accurate, because, well, sometimes you just have a bad day or very good day, and then this can be explained. Certain fantastic or very bad results can be explained by that. But here, yeah, you're taking actually the whole year, yeah. I started the research starting from the beginning of this year up to now, so I would say for so far like 10 months. And then well, each round, yeah, I was actually selecting each round, and what is the performance of players in this particular round, because yeah, and it's very clear that there is no big difference. It's round 7 or 9, you know. I mean, when you play, you don't even care, I mean, what round is it, yeah, normally. So you just play a game. So there is no reason logically that, let's say, your performance in round 7 would be much higher than your performance in round 9, considering that the average rating in both of those rounds of your opposition is pretty much the same. So if you're playing fair, then why would one round be much better than another round? Yeah, that was the idea. But of course, 11th round, as you understand, we are checking the last round. We are checking the most important games when really the money is on stake. And logically, if you play fair the whole event, also I don't see a reason why it should be the performance in this last round must really be much higher or lower than in previous rounds. Why? Yes, you can say a player is very motivated, yeah, he is concentrated when he's playing this game, but same goes for his opponent. I mean, he's also fighting for the prize, so he's also motivated and concentrated. Of course, there will always be a bit of difference, but logically, I don't see. That was my presumption. Yeah, before I started to investigate this particular, method. I use this particular method to investigate that normally. Well, I don't see a big reason why your performance in those decisive games should differ a lot to other rounds. Also, separating those games when you are not fighting for the prizes in the last round and fighting for prizes, I also don't see a big reason why logically the performance should vary a lot, because yes, of course, it's obvious that when you're not anymore fighting for prizes, yeah, you're of course less concentrated, you're upset, and okay, you just finish the tournament. True, but the same goes for your opponent. So in a way, yeah, he also doesn't want to play anymore. He just finishes the tournament. Yeah, logically. So definitely it can vary. Yeah, but shouldn't be a huge difference in performance. Maybe a level of play. Yes, but we are not talking about level of play this time. So this test is about pure performance. So average rating of your opponents, amount of points you have, and well, a typical calculation of performance of a player. So that is the logic behind it. I wanted to check, well, is a big, inconsistency in all rounds, let's say, and in those last round, those games when people are directly already playing for money. So my guess was that it might be not. So it's very interesting test. I took well, a lot of players. I'm not going to tell names at the moment. I have all those names who played how, but for now I want to present you this test. I hope you understand the logic behind it. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I will present you the results, and I want you to think about it, maybe to discuss, to give certain ideas, and because if I tell immediately now, every name and his statistics, then there will be a lot of, emotion about it. No, this guy cannot cheat. No, that's for sure not. This guy, no, I knew he was cheating. No, I want to avoid it. First of all, again, it's not a proof that somebody concretely cheating. This has to be checked further on. I mean, must be some additional check-ins. It's in my opinion, it's practically clear mathematical proof that the cheating is pretty massive in Title Tuesday, because the statistics are really surprising, as you will see now. And if somebody of you who is listening to this, who will be now, who will learn those statistics numbers, think that I'm accusing somebody concretely or a group of people of cheating, then you should understand that it's not me. If you think it's an accusation, it's not me who is accusing. It is statistics, mathematics, which is accusing. So I'm just presenting you the factual mathematical statistics. So it's not my problem. I mean, it's not my, I didn't make up the numbers, or it's just the truth. It is mathematics. So if you believe it's accusation, then yeah, it's accusation by science. Let's put it this way. So don't try to, because some people who are trying just, instead of discussing the real numbers, the statistics, the true numbers, they start some kind of typical ideas. No, this guy is paranoid. Yeah, one thing I've heard. What else? Yeah, he's old. He doesn't know how to lose. Well, actually, I'm not playing already in Title Tuesday for quite a long time. Anyway, and not really known as a person who didn't know how to lose. Yeah. To start with, and I'm not professional player anymore, playing for fun. So whatever, yeah, I mean, all those actually quite cheap arguments, yeah, so to say. And yeah, so and another is that no, he's such a shame, he's accusing players of cheating. I'm sorry, I just present you the truth, the numbers, yeah, because simply nobody else is doing it, or at least if Chess.com is doing it, they never present it. So what I'm doing is I'm presenting and I'm explaining my position. I'm explaining why I'm talking a lot about it lately, and why I believe situation is very different to what well, somebody is trying to present us. Yeah, and this is I like to put arguments on the table, and factual arguments, not just words, not just some demagogy, yeah, but facts. So now about the test numbers, please, some concentration, because there will be quite some numbers. To start with, yeah, I want to explain that those rounds, yeah, the average rating of your position, and that was actually quite important, that it's not that different. Most of the time, actually, it's the same caliber of players, because if you're doing well, and most of those, I'm talking about successful players who are in general quite successful in those Title Tuesday events. So most of the time they play well, and already by round 7 you can easily face Magnus Carlsen or Hikaru Nakamura or some other top players. So sometimes it happens in the last round, sometimes earlier. So all in all, it's pretty mixed. And for example, I will give you numbers of average rating of the opposition of few guys, just that you can judge, you can see that the difference is not big. For instance, one player, the average round 7, 28.65, round 8, 28.62, next round 9, 28.93, round 10, 28.92, round 11, 3016. So you see, I mean, okay, round 11, I mean, only those games, 3016 are only those games where he played with a very, for money. Of course, there usually the average rating is much higher, but even though not always, but otherwise from 7 to 10, yeah, very, very equal numbers, yeah. But for instance, another player, he actually has average more or less the same, even in round 11 in those games, those important games. For instance, 2866, 2869, 2871. So you see, more or less same, no big difference in rounds, yeah, in the position. Then round 10, 2906, round 11, 2903. So very equal. And okay, just last example. For instance, 2877, 2876, 2906, 2897, 2994. So you see, again, in the last round, important games here in this case, the opponents are much stronger. That makes sense, yeah. But otherwise, the average in each round is pretty much the same. And then then I was checking the performances in each round. Logically, well, of course, there must be certain variability in those performances. You cannot be always the same. But all in all, I don't see why, why the difference should be too high. And true, in rounds 7, 8, 9, 10, all those players, so I think 18 here, so what I was checking, the best performance from all those rounds, which round was performed better than all others, and then the difference, so how much better, yeah, so the difference, the best performance, and the difference with the average performance in those last 3 rounds. I hope you understood, yeah, the point. So more or less, let's say a person is performing in round 8 his best performance. So I would take the average of rounds 7, 9, 10, make an average, and then compare this best performance with kind of his general strengths in those rounds, average strengths, because let's say even 3 rounds in average 40 games, 120 games, it's quite a lot. I mean, don't tell me it's not your average level, yeah, it is actually. And to see how, well, if there are many cases when your performance in one of the rounds is much higher than in other rounds, shouldn't be, logically shouldn't be. And true, it is not. I mean, let's say, so we are talking about these 4 rounds, 18 players, as I understand, it makes it 72 rounds, so 72 cases. So out of 72 cases like this, there is only once a performance of one player was 100 rating points higher than the average performance of another 3 rounds out of those 4. But still, even though this was made in round 10. Actually, so you can consider, you can think that maybe there's already time to get some external help. Maybe not, I don't say so, but okay, still it was round 10, and then round 11 actually of this same player was even higher than round 10. So it was like progressively jumping, yeah, the performance, round 10, round 11. So like I can even tell you, yeah, without telling the name, but I can tell you that it's kind of a little bit strange, I would say, that there are like two different players playing before last 2 rounds and in last 2 rounds. Yeah, for instance, in this particular case, this player had a performance difference of 120 rating points, chess.com, in round 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9 was one performance. In rounds 10 and 11, his jump throughout the year in many games, like 80 games, yeah, so 120 more or less there and 80 there, so he's playing 120 games on one level, and then when it's getting very important, round 10, 11, 80 games is playing on the level 120 points higher. 120 is a lot, is really a lot, yeah. Strange, yeah, a little bit strange, but okay. Anyways, so the average deviation in those 4 rounds I'm talking about is actually 52. So trying to explain you that the best performance average out of 18 players, you know, in taking 18 players, the best performance comparing to other rounds there is 52 rating points higher than the average of this particular player in 18 cases. So which is actually very logical. That is what I expected. That is what can be expected, because of course just accidentally one round you would play better than others. It cannot be completely even, yeah. But there must not be a huge difference in performance, yeah. So 50 points is not very big. It's kind of logical. I actually thought that it should be around 30, 60, yeah, 50, normal, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. But when we are talking about the last round, then everything starts to go crazy. Yeah, I mean, especially in those games when players are fighting for money. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's just some magics. But you know, I have checked every player, you know, performance on those particular games when they're fighting for money, and of course the sample is a bit smaller because, well, some games they are not fighting for the prizes, but still it's quite considerable, like 20 games, 30 games, somebody 25. It's, I mean, again, not in a row, but throughout the year, so which makes it a serious, like, serious statistics. And here the results were really like, okay, I expected that if something is a bit fishy, that then those numbers will be pretty much different to the numbers of previous rounds, but I never expected it to be that different. So a little quest for you, if you want to stop the video after and think and give your answer and then listen to my to what is it, how is it in reality. So 18 cases. How many times out of 18 the difference, you know, between this performance in those games, the most important money games, and the average level in previous rounds, as I mentioned, were over 100. So how many times? I can remind you that 1 out of 72 is was the performance in previous rounds. Now we are talking about 18 rounds, and the average deviation of this sort was 52 in previous 72 cases. So 1 out of 72, 52 is the average deviation. Yeah, now try to guess average deviation also in those games, in most important games, and how many times it overstepped 100. So I would say there was such a gap of level. Okay, you can stop. Now you can continue the video. I will tell you the numbers. So 1 out of 72, yeah, you remember. In the last round, in those important games, out of 18, 12 times the deviation was more than 100. 12 out of 18. And the average deviation, so meaning how much more, yeah, the performance was, you know, in previous rounds 52. Here it was 154, so 3 times higher. Which means basically what the idea is that the players actually start to play suddenly. Most of the, I mean, let's say 2/3 of the players start to play like 2 times stronger in, I mean, perform 2 times better in those particular games than in any other games before. I mean, then suddenly in this moment when you need to perform fantastically to win the money, suddenly you show performance which you haven't showed earlier. I mean, just start to win like every game, start to play like 2 times better than before. 18 out of 12 out of 18 compared to 1 out of 72. I mean, I'm sorry. If there is any more question about it, I mean, I don't say that I don't mean that every player who is suddenly performing, you know, like genius in when it's needed. I don't talk, of course, not everyone is necessarily cheating, but it's absolutely clear. Again, the same mathematician who offered this test, when I presented him those results, he said, okay, I expected it would be fishy, but I didn't expect it would be that bad. I mean, he said, by the way, he's now working on a mathematical formula of calculating the probability of this, you know, happening naturally. But he said already, I will present you once he's finishing this work, because, you know, I'm not a professional mathematician. It requires, well, a good mathematical knowledge. But he said it's doable, this probability, and he said that in any case, it's absolutely clear that this probability is, well, is extremely low, that it's impossible. Normally, it is impossible that these things can happen naturally, yes, such numbers. So, I will present you again, but to me, well, in a way, actually, once I got the results, once I understood that, okay, I mean, I hit the point. It's exactly the test which was hitting the point. So, okay, you can think whatever you. I hope you understood the methodology and so on. You can think whatever you like to think about it. To me, I mean, there is no doubt, there is zero doubt. This simply cannot be mathematically. Common sense tells that you cannot start to play suddenly better, everybody at the same time. By the way, some players actually are playing much out of those 12, 2 players are performing like their performance starts to collapse completely. And 10 out of those 12 are just starting to play like geniuses, like they never played before. I mean, okay, that is a conclusion. Again, I mean, to me, sorry, but of course not all of those players are cheating, I'm sure about it, but it's clear that mathematically, minimum half. It cannot be other way around, simply cannot be, because, you know, in previous 72 rounds you have one case like this. In the last round you have 12 cases out of 18. I mean, this is absurd. Like, mathematical common sense, it's absurd. It cannot be. Whatever you think about it, but you know, hopefully we all have common sense. So, okay, that is another, to me, another clear proof that things are very different to what, you know, some people are trying to present us, and it requires a further investigation. And at the end of this, well, I'm continuing to make different researches. And at the end, I would like to say that, yeah, let's try really to fight against this. This is becoming, I mean, this test and some previous tests of mine are showing that it's becoming an epidemic, complete epidemic on all levels. And but first, let's fight with it. But first, you need to admit that this is the case. I mean, trying to play this game like, no, everything is fine, okay, not giving statistics, not giving numbers, no, paranoia, you know, crazy. I mean, come on, this game is not anymore working. Less and less people believe that this is the case. More and more, even top players start to talk about it, that, okay, come on, this is not, I mean, the problem is serious. More and more players actually stop playing in events like Title Tuesday, you know, slowly but surely. Okay, let's do something about it. Let's stop hypocrisy. Let's stop pretending something, you know, which is obviously not the case. So, I mean, again, I'm not trying to damage anyone. My only goal is to I mean, to present to public, to people, to explain them the real situation, and that we have to act urgently and very kind of determinedly to do something about it. Otherwise, it will be too late very soon. I hope not yet. So yeah, it's very sad actually. The result of this test was quite depressing to me. I mean, I was I was not in good mood for a couple of days after that, because I myself didn't expect it's so bad actually. So okay, I'm trying to talk about it openly. Yeah, you can call me idiot, crazy, whatever you want, but the problem is too serious, too important for the game of chess, which hopefully we all love, to to care about my image or whatever people will think about me. No, I mean, that's not the most important. Think what you want about me, but please, people who have common sense, who really want to do good for chess, start doing something about it. Yeah, the problem is huge.